So first we are going to create the soul. I'm going to show you here. We're going to create this part first, the bottom part. Second is the body, and this part, the tongue, shoelaces, and for the finishing touches, we're going to add the details like the wings here, and these parts here, the metal plates, like that. So everything will be created in high poly first. Then after that, we are going to start creating our high poly, which we are going to add edge loops and subdivide it, because we're mainly going to use sub-D modeling technique. Okay, so let's start creating our low poly here by using X-ray mode first. And I want to make sure I'm gonna align this part here. Basically, I'm just, tracing everything here, but we are going to focus mainly on topology and edge flow. So Control R, I'm gonna add 3 edge loops. Like that. I'm gonna move it a little bit to the back. Okay. Next is, by the way, I'm not really tracing this. Sometimes I might hide the gray blocks like that and just, focus on our main model, because not everything inside gray blocks is we're going to follow. Just the silhouette like this, because some parts is not practical to follow. Okay, next we're going to add 2 edge loops on top. In the middle. Move this thing here. Okay. So I'm gonna hide this. Okay. So we have created this one. Hold on. But guys, if you want to show only the silhouette like this, you have to click Shift Z like that to toggle. So let's say you are in this flat view, you're gonna Shift Z to show only the silhouette and the wireframes, and if you want to see through like this, Alt Z like that. Okay, now this is the first technique that I'm going to show you guys. So in low poly mode like this, let's say let's duplicate this thing first on the side. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna subdivide this, Control 1. As you can see here, for now it looks clean, right? But we're going to add an edge loop here first. So let's say I'm gonna add an edge loop here on top, the bottom as well. Then if I want this thing to be round, I want to be cleaner, I want to have some hard edges here at the same time, a bevel on this part. So let's say I'm gonna add an edge loop here and look at the result like this. It's not flowing around, so it has to be flowing around every time I add an edge loop like this. So every time I'm going to add subdivision like that, as you can see, it's distorting, right? Because our topology is not clean. So let's say I'm gonna apply our modifier here, and this is our result. as you can see, our topology is not clean, right? We are having some hard edges here, sharp corners like that. So this is how I model stuff before. Like, I'm not cleaning the topology before I subdividing it. So I will show you the technique that I'm, using right now. So let's delete this. Forgot I can still undo everything. Okay, so what I'm doing usually is I create edge loop here. I add edge loop and delete the faces. So I'm gonna show you. So I hit spacebar and I'm gonna use knife tool and toggle vertex mode. And don't forget to turn this thing on so that it will snap automatically on the vertices. So let's create an edge loop here. Edge loop here. We're going to do the same thing at the bottom here. Another edge loop. Edge loop. And also at the back part, Edge loop. Oh, I forgot to show you the difference. So let's duplicate this thing first. Like, I will show you later the difference. Oops. Let's say I'm gonna delete this thing first. Hold on. Solve edges. Okay. So this is our main model, and I will edit this thing. This is the first technique that I'm using. Before, when I'm just starting out 3D, like, I just keep adding edge loops in order to like achieve the results that I want, but it doesn't work at all. This is how I modeled before, which is bad. Then I'm gonna subdivide this to one. Why I keep pressing one? Add one subdivision. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to fix. So let's hit Alt Z, go to face mode. I'm gonna delete that, delete faces. Faces. This thing has to be deleted as well. Also at the back, only this face. Same thing that we have done in the front. Delete faces. Okay. Next is we're going to add an edge loop in the middle. Because as you can see, we have created triangles, right? So in order to turn this into quads, we need to add an edge loop in the middle. So I'll show you here. Let's go back to knife tool. Let's add an edge loop in the middle. There. Edge loop in the middle over here. We're gonna do the same thing at the bottom. Okay. So let's go back to move and go to vertex mode. As you can see, we have created quads, right? You can see it here. We have created a quad. I'm gonna do the same thing here a little bit because we're going to edit that later. So we need to fix the form here because it looks like a triangle, right? So this can be fixed by using our vertex here. We're gonna move around like that. Oops. Move it right there. So we need to connect these part, bridge edge loops, select these, Shift R, to do the previous command. Shift R. Shift R. Okay. Now let's try to subdivide this. Control 1. Okay, so we need to fix some parts here. Don't worry about the topology yet because we can fix that later. We mainly focus on the form, like this one. Make sure it will look like a shoe. Okay, I think it's decent enough. Oh, we need to like adjust this a little bit here. Make it smaller. I'm literally eyeballing everything, guys, but if you have a reference of a sole, a foot, you can just put it here at the bottom. Just trace them right away. Okay, next is we're going to fix this, the topology here. Like we're going to align everything. Oops, go to solid mode. Going to like make sure that they're aligned. Like the thickness of this part. The thickness, we're going to like make them uniform. Like that. Having uniform thickness will look great later. It will look good in your topology flow. S for scale, X and 0. Enter S, scale, Y and 0. Now that will like align the vertices. Okay. I think we have created. Okay, I think this is already clean. So I will show you the difference here. So let's say I'm going to like duplicate this, Shift D. So this is our main. This is our main. I'm gonna name this Soul. Oops. Added a D. Let's name this Soul and let's hide this and make this unselectable. So we can mainly focus on the two of these for our reference technique. So next is we're going to add a subdivision here. Let's add one, and you can see here it looks good. Let's bring back to 0, and we need to add a edge flow here, an edge loop. Control R. Boom, 2 edge loops, and we can now start adding subdivision. Now we can start applying it like that. Boom, and this one as well. Let's start apply, and boom. Look at the difference. As you can see, we have cleaner edge flow here compared to this one because we have a localized topology, right? And this one looks like it has a lot of polygons, right? Even though they only have one subdivision, like both of them have only one subdivision, but this model over here looks like it has a lot of polygons compared to this one. And the most important thing here is that when I added like another edge loop here, as you can see, the edge loop is going around the shoe. That also inside here, and compared to this one, this is the technique that I've been using before, which is it's bad. As you can see here, it's not going around. So every time I added topology, it will create sharp corners over here. It will harden the edges when I try to add another subdivision like that. As you can see here, it creates hard edges, and in the future, when I want to like edit this in the future, or I want to add more details around, it will give me a lot of time, or a lot of hard time, you know. It gives me problems, and I will ended up like redoing everything, right? So using this technique, like localizing topology, making our low poly clean in the first stage will help us to like create 3D models clean, you know, and it will give us less stress. Like if I want to edit something here, it will easy to like delete the edges like this, delete this or what, something like that. So if I want to subdivide this once again, I will still achieve very smooth results like that. Compared to this one, if I want to subdivide this, look at the result. It will give me hard edges like that. The form, it doesn't look organic like that, right? Compared to this one, it's way more cleaner, right? So that's the first technique that I'm gonna show you guys. So let's continue creating the other parts of our shoe, and I'm gonna undo everything here. And delete this. And we can now start, you know, using this. And where is that? Oh, this is the one. So let's delete this. So this is our main model here. This is the one that we have created and edited. So we're gonna leave it like this. So when I added another subdivision like that, so it will bring back the correct form, right? Okay. Next is our body over here, or this one. We're going to create the body here, the one that connects with a tongue here, or this part over here where we're going to create this one. Okay, let's start creating. So I'm also gonna like teach you the parts, how to localize it as well. So I will also show you my mistake on how I modeled like this part here. I have like split polygons. I can't explain it right now, but I'll show you later once we start creating it. Okay, so let's start creating that part, and we'll add subdivision for this one first. Now let's hide our auxiliary blocks. I want to make this unselectable for sole, so that we cannot touch anything here. Shift A, mesh. Let's add a cube. Hold on. Yeah, we need to select the low poly here. Shift A, mesh, and cube. So it will automatically add to this collection. Shift Z. So we're following the form of the shoe here. It's basically the same process that we used to our previous work for our sole. Let's add 3. It's gonna move here. So we need to add also a edge loop in the middle. 2 edge loop, like that. Don't forget to follow the same technique that I teach you recently. I think we need to delete this face first, It doesn't have to be extruded yet. So let's delete this, X, delete faces, so that we can mainly focus the topology of this part. Okay, so let's go back to vertex mode, turn on the snapping, spacebar, knife, and let's connect this. Oops, this part. Let's create a triangle like that. Same thing here. Let's go to move tool, delete these, delete faces, and go to move, go to vertex mode, use the knife tool, create a line in the middle. It's the same technique, guys. Now we've created a quad. We can now start following the form here. So back to move tool, turn off snapping. Let's move it here. I think we need to add another edge loop in the middle over here. But we need to fix this thing first. Okay, since we have created a clean edge loops, we can just easily add another edge loop here, right? And we don't have any problems when adding edge loop because it flows seamlessly. That's why it's very important to like clean up your mesh, or having a localized topology. It's very important. So let's say I'm gonna add a subdivision for this one. Okay, so we need to extrude this like that. This one as well, to extrude it like that. Everything is in low poly, so we don't have any problems with it. There's nothing to worry about if we need to edit something, because everything is in low poly. That next is we can now add a extrude for this one by adding in a modifier, generate and solidify. We can extrude this by giving it a negative thickness or like that, and we can hit apply. Okay, we can turn this thing back to 0. Now we will align everything here. So we'll mainly focus at the bottom only. That. Make sure that it's sticking on the sole. Let's look at the reference like that. Gary blocks. It looks like this. Gives you a little bit of like angled. That's why Blender is so powerful, because you know you can just add a modifier on the side and just, if you don't need the modifier, you can just delete it, turn on, turn off, you know. You can toggle modifiers, and it's easy to like create 3D models from scratch, you know. As you can see here, it looks clean. By the way, don't forget to hit save all the time, guys. But if you're tired of like hitting Control S, you can just download a add-on. I think it's called Power Save. Like if you install that add-on, it will like automatically save your file after 1 minute. If you're gonna set it to 1 minute or 2 minutes, it all depends. Okay, so I think we have created our second layer here. I think the next part is we need to add our the tongue part here, this one. But first, I think we are going to start creating already the there's a hole here, right? There's a cut part here, so I think we're gonna start creating the cut for this one here. And I think we need to start also applying the modifier for our soul. I think not yet, so we mainly focus on this part first. We're gonna apply the modifier here, but before that we need to bring back the subdivision to 0. Then we can start editing here. We will delete this face here because this part is a hole. So let's delete face like that. And I think we will turn on Catmull Clark. I need to find that right here. I mean back face culling like that, so that we could see if our normals is facing in the correct direction, right? So but for now we don't need that to turn on, but it's just an optional personal preference so that it will guide you throughout your modding process. Or you can turn this thing on, face orientation, so that you could see what's you could see where are your normals facing when you're modeling. But for now I don't need it, but it's just a tip, you know, if you want to create models like that. Okay, so let's bring back our subdivision to 1, so you can see the hole here. Next is let's check our gray blocks. I think we need to move our gray blocks to the left here, so that it will not literally like distract our view here. So let's select them all. Let's move it here on the side, you know, that. So every time I will add something, I will just move it here and just trace or compare them. I can also see it on the side like that. Shift Z. You can see it on the side, but it doesn't look good, right? But it helps, you know, it helps us to like know the silhouette of our model. Okay, so next what we're going to do is to add the shell here in front. So let's add another cube. Shift A, mesh, scale it like that. What? We'll delete the face here. You don't need that. We're mainly focusing on this part only. Let's hide our gray blocks. Let's move it to the bottom. Let's move it on top. Okay, next is we're going to move this one kind of like bulging a bit. Okay, I think we need to duplicate this, Shift D, and we will use this as our tongue, a base for our tongue. And for this one, I think we need to create a hole here. So I'm gonna select the faces and delete faces like that. And let's move this thing further. Nope. Move it here a bit. That. Increase the height for this one as well. Let's increase the height. Oops, except to the bottom part. Okay. Okay, let's add subdivision. And we can start adjusting the polygon. Well, it's not yet final, guys, so don't worry about the cleanliness of your topology. As long as you created a clean edge flow, then you'll not have some issues later on. Forgot this part. This part should be a bit lower, and the tongue part is higher, right? Okay, so the tongue part is here. Let's move this thing on top. For our tongue, let's move this thing. The tongue bends like upwards. A little bit of forward like that. Oops, I selected. I think we need to move this further. We need to edit this one. It has to be like straight. Okay, let's SY0. Yeah, because it's straight. Okay. And we need to adjust this one, the sides. I want to make it a bit lower, you know, because it's revealing. Let's adjust the X. As you can see, it's not that high, so it has to be high enough. You can just adjust it once again. This part, you can increase the height like that from our base, our second layer base. This is one of the most important part of our shoe, is the second layer base. That. And this one has to be a little bit lower because we have curves in that part, and we can now start moving upwards for this one. Okay, our tongue doesn't look good like that. We don't like it, so we'll increase. I think I need to rotate it to the X like that. We need to move it upwards. need to increase the thickness of the tongue. Okay. Need to increase the length. I think I need to add another what do you call that, edge loop on top. So let's select edge, Control R, let's add another edge loop over there, so we could create a bend from our thumb. Oops, I always accidentally hide those. Okay. Let's increase the height. We want to make sure that we are hiding the tongue a little bit. Save. Okay. As you can see here. And next is we need to create a cut on the side. Like, I'm currently analyzing this shoe. Like, when I saw the stitching, kind of confuses me, but everything can be solved right away. Just keep creating, and suddenly you might realize that this part, it's not really important. So as you can see here, our shoe doesn't look like it's pointy enough.